Okay, this is the eighth time I've hit the record button, because I keep rambling for too long before starting the actual video. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that right now. The Weasel is garbage. The Weasel is is really really bad. I'm gonna stop from swearing for about the first minute or two, and then I'm going to forget. But for the meanwhile, endure the replacements, the supplements. I feel like saying slop is like my monk fruit zero calorie, zero sugar sweetener replacement for I don't know, any of the other more fitting slurs that ought to be applied to the Weasel MMA. His content is slop. This is the biggest analyst on MMA YouTube. Can I say that? It might be the guru, but he's not like an analyst really. Not to like shit on him or anything. I don't think he necessarily claims to be like a technical analyst. Um, but the Weasel does. The Weasel makes these videos. Um, I can't even call them elaborate videos because they really aren't. Like these faux elaborate videos, these faux breakdowns of fights where he just masturbates over imaginary scenarios involving his favorite. Oh fuck! Okay, I'm starting the video.
From solid takedown defense and get-ups to taking himself to the ground, Dricus du Plessis' takedown defense is all over the place, and it's going to need to be on point when he fights.
What does that mean, right? What is all? It's all over the place. Sometimes Trickus is just really good, and then other times it's like he slips on the banana peel. Who listens to this, man? Who thinks that this is like solid uh statements that are worth draping over the required effort of making an actual analysis for it to be labeled an analysis? This is nothing. This is a nothing statement. Sometimes it is good and other times it's bad. Um, Gee, I don't know, guys. This Drickus guy, he's just so crazy. Hey, you wanna join my UFC watch party? We're gonna go on meth streams, and we're gonna see Drickus, man. What if he puts a banana peel in the cage? It's crazy. Fuck! Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm 9 seconds into the video and I'm coping and seething and creaming everywhere. I hate this shit so much. Okay, so here's something really easy. Dricus du Plessis is a human being. I'm saying this like I'm a humanitarian and I need to like stand up for like the abuse he's taking online. Dricus du Plessis is a MMA fighter, and beyond just being an MMA fighter, he has a brain. And in that brain, he stores these things that are called memories. And he actually uses those memories every time he fights, in which he remembers how to do things like defend takedowns. And believe it or not, there are some takedowns he can defend maybe better than others? What? Wow! So maybe it's not like this thing that needs to be fucking uh what's the word? What's the word? I'm losing all my words here. I'm going absolutely crazy. I already swore. I'm pretty sure I'm like 30 seconds in. Anyways, um no. I'm not going to lose track. I'm going to stay on point and I'm going to before I continue the video, just make the very short and very concise point that I'm known for making in that it is a really, really terrible habit for people who are pretending to be analysts to make stupid, vague boilerplate statements like, oh, sometimes this guy is good and sometimes he's bad, as if there's not reasons behind all of those things. Eliminating context is the thing you will see dumb people do the most frequently because it's just too much for them. It is too much for the Weasel to go into detail. Like, hey guys, I'm just a YouTuber. How am I supposed to fit the context into all these takedown attempts in the 16-minute video, man? I'm just one guy. I'm just a small YouTuber from Albania. I don't know where he's from. Albania, right? I think I just made that up. But Yeah, it's slop. It's terrible. It's it's fucking miserable. I've already disliked this video and unsubscribed from his channel. Oh, for context, huge Weasel glazer. That's the wrong word. Huge guy. Huge guy. I'm a huge guy. I'm 600 pounds. No, but I am a huge fucking Weasel gooner. That's what I do. I don't glaze. I goon. Look at all these red bars, man. You know I've this guy's cadence memorized. You know, I can word for word create the Weasel MMA video in my head, and it would be perfect. If you gave me the power or the lack of complacency required to create like an AI sort of clone of his voice, I could create videos for him. He could pay me to make videos for him, and I would write them just like him. Because all I would have to do is make general lame statements that mean nothing. All right, video time.
It's Hamza Chimaev, by far the best wrestler he's ever faced. In fact, Dricus actually doesn't fight a lot of wrestlers. He's a champion with
Middleweight's bad.
2 title defenses, but he's only gone up against 2 wrestlers in his entire career.
Okay, in his entire UFC career is what he means. I don't know why he just says entire career here. And again, you can say like, oh well, that's just like that he's just saying that to exaggerate. Like, I think he's saying that because he's dumb. I think he's saying that because he doesn't want to go through the effort of giving context, of giving any kind of like preface to things. That's a thing you'll see. There's zero preface for any of these statements. It's in his entire career, he's only faced 2 wrestlers.
Those are Derek Brunson, who honestly is the only true wrestler he's fought. The other's Robert Whitaker.
What does? Oh
His high-stakes
no!
fight, going from
No! What do you mean, only true wrestler? What does that mean? Robert Whitaker has taken down Israel Adesanya, and Robert Whitaker shoots a takedown on almost everybody he fights, and he shoots a good one. Just because he can also strike doesn't make him not a wrestler. I don't understand the statement. Your counter argument would be like, well, Whitaker often strikes in his fights, whereas Brunson only wrestles. That doesn't make Whitaker less of a wrestler. Whitaker was shooting takedowns on Dricus, on everybody he fights. His entire game plan against strikers, if he doesn't outstrike them, he immediately starts wrestling them. Oh, God, it's just a pointless thing to say. The only real wrestler he fought is Brunson. It's a pointless waste of space sentence made to make like a slimy discrediting attempt, but it just serves no purpose. It's weird.
from fighting Brunson and Whitaker, the guy who Hamza absolutely smashed in the first round, to fighting Hamza Chimaev himself is going to be a very different level for Dricus. He's never fought someone who shoots takedowns and grapples the way Hamza does. Not even
He's never fought somebody who shoots takedowns.
close. Hamza is a chain wrestler with supreme top control and excellent submissions. How is Dricus going to...
Okay, for the record, I have finished this video. This is not a live reaction. It was originally a live reaction. Actually, I talked for an hour and 30 minutes about this. Wait, let me check if my mic's working. My mic's still working. Okay, perfect. I talked for an hour and 30 minutes about this fucking video because I was so upset, like live reacting to this. And then like all the footage was terrible. I setting up OBS was like a horrible experience. I accidentally made 3 copies of my mic, so I sounded like a robot. But this has given me a superpower, and it's one that I do not bear lightly. In fact, I will use the concentrated effort of my entire life force to gain this hindsight power and share it with the world by telling you that this still frame you're looking at right now is gonna be really important later, and it's really fucking funny.
to defend that early onslaught from Hamza Chimaev? First and second round Hamza is a nightmare to handle. There's something to be said about the first round takedown from Hamza. No.
Oh god, dude, it still hurts. It hurts just as bad as the first time I heard him say that. This isn't analysis, this isn't a breakdown, this is nothing. Dricus versus Hamza breakdown. The breakdown is Man, guys, there's just something to be said about this guy's takedowns. I don't. Okay, say the thing. Say the thing about his takedowns. Don't. No, God, God, torture my head with pins and needles, man. I can't deal with this.
Nobody's ever defended it. Whitaker, who has excellent takedown defense, could not stop that takedown.
Okay.
Kamaru Usman could not stop the chain wrestling from the takedown. Lee
Okay.
Leon, Kevin Holland. With Gilbert Burns, Hamza really wasn't trying to wrestle the same way, so it's different. Against Dricus, he's absolutely trying to take the fight to the ground and destroy him. Not only has no one stopped that takedown, but every single one of them.
Okay. So this is another this could whoa. What could this be? Well, okay. I'm back, coming back to earth, reeling myself back in. This could be another attempt, just like this still frame that's back up on the screen. Magical timing. But anyways, this is my second instance of foreshadowing for this video. For you guys, I'm doing this for you guys. Why is he going to smash Dricus and not fight the way he fought Gilbert Burns? I want you to have. I don't need an answer to this. I don't need somebody to write something in the comments. I don't need you to think of an answer. I don't need you to go, well, but Gilbert Burns is a jiu-jitsu black belt. That's okay. Put your fingers down. Let them rest beneath your keyboard. In fact, you could outstretch your hands beneath your keyboard and bow your head down to me, as I will actually explain what's going to happen for the rest of this video. But yes, this is just foreshadowing, so unfortunately I can't spoil what I'm going to say about this. But I think it's really, really important to note, because throughout this video, he's going to explain why Hamzat is going to do all of these things. But there's a question that he can't answer about Hamzat, and it's really, really funny.
Has either been submitted in the first round or had to defend some type of choke from Hamzat. Whether it was the rear naked choke against Kamaru Usman or Li Jingliang, the face crank against Whitaker, or the Darce choke against Kevin Holland. Every fighter has had a difficult time on stopping Hamzat from what he does best. With Dricus' strength and his awkward style, can he be the one that counters this dominant first round from Hamzat?
Okay, why Dricus' strength and his awkward style? Why does that counter Hamzat's strength? Or fucking Hamzat's round one takedown, and not Whitaker's? Oh, I'm saying Whitaker. Fuck, Dricus. why is Dricus' awkwardness the answer, and not just his grappling, his actually really cool jiu-jitsu that he does? Why is that the answer, and not? Why is that not the answer? Sorry, as opposed to his awkwardness, which is going to win him this fight. I think there's a lot of arguments for like how Dricus' awkwardness could get him in trouble in this fight. I don't even. It's not worth like. I don't know why I'm taking this seriously. This isn't a serious video. He's not serious. Who gonna win? Awesome, wonderful, beautiful, Chechen, beautiful beast versus, silly, funny Dricus, accidental champion, fluke merchant. And we just have to listen to him glaze this bearded fucking terrorist. So I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you guys survive this glaze session.
Well, let's look at some of these fights here. Against Derek Brunson, the best wrestler Dricus has ever fought. Now, generally, you don't want to be throwing kicks at a wrestler, but
why? Oh, see, I'm pausing too soon. Sorry. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna let the reverberations, the echo, just sort of shatter your entire vertebrae, and you turn into like little worms.
The best wrestler Dricus has ever fought.
Okay.
Now, generally, you don't want to be throwing kicks at a wrestler, but Dricus doesn't care about that.
Okay. Wow. That's it. That's the statement. There's no there's not even a good time to pause anymore. Wait, I'm checking to see if my audio works. My audio is still capturing allegedly. Yeah. I think I don't remember exactly what I recorded last night. But I think I paused after hearing this and threw up and then just started like stabbing myself. There's a bunch of pens on my desk in front of me. I think I just started picking them up. Click, click, click. Stab, stab, stab. Click, click, click. Stab, stab, stab. Like, by the end there's probably about 20 or 30. My arms, legs, torso, my neck, and there's blood sort of like dripping down the ends in sort of a cinematic fashion. and in front of me, it's all like pooling together in a big mass, and my feet are all wet. This is bad and lame and terrible, and I'm trying so hard to call this words that won't get this video hidden from everybody on the planet. But this is maybe the worst thing I will ever have to hear, and that you will ever have to hear. Don't settle for this. Do not settle for bad content, bad analysis, and these generalized blanket statements that mean absolutely nothing. This is vague. This is boilerplate. This is slop. Oh, I remember. I made an analogy last night. I loved it. Right now. Right now, this is a little sneeze. This is. It's just like a symptom of like the MMA slop blight even. On our MMA potato crops, this is a blight on them. Because there is zero effort to stop it. There's no massive ocean that this can just be, a single stream of piss into. It is actually an ocean of piss, and this is just more piss. So say, okay, here, I'm going to give you an example. I run a gelato shop, a gelato store, gelato restaurant, if you will. Very fancy. It's on the corner of a very busy street. And, it's been in my name for a very long time. Now, customers enter our store. And you know what they don't notice? They don't notice is that there's no sneeze guard at my gelato store. I don't think I can call it a restaurant. At my gelato shop, there's no sneeze guard. And now that I've told you there's no sneeze guard, you're gonna go, "Oh man, that's a terrible idea." But I promise you, if you walk into a gelato store with no sneeze guard, most of you will not notice. And you will go and you will walk past every single gelato, because that's what you do when you're entering my gelato store. When you're entering a gelato store you've never been before, you're like, oh man, I got to see what all these flavors are about. Man, this gelato stuff, it's no ice cream. This this is real fancy. It's real Italian. And you're going through and you see like a lemon gelato. I think they probably do that. And then you see like a lime gelato. And you're like, whoa, I wonder if I could get these two mixed together. And you know what? You can. But then there's a third gelato, and you walk past it, and it is our classic, famous family heirloom, feathers and cobwebs and dust gelato, and and you don't even have the time to think, oh man, this is such a weird concept for a dessert treat. I wonder how successful it is. The answer is that it isn't, but it doesn't matter. You pass it and you sneeze. Everybody sneezes because these are real, all naturally sourced ingredients. This is real dust, real cobwebs, real feathers tickling your nose. And you sneeze right through the non-existent sneeze guard, and you just coat our gelato. And I don't notice because I'm busy. I'm in the back of the store. I'm doing something. I'm getting stuff. And you know what? I'm only one man, right? I can only guard my gelato shop from the merciless sneezers that enter every single day. And that's the problem, is that it isn't just one person sneezing 1,000 times and ruining my gelato. It's every single day. There's 1,000 innocent people who walk by, don't realize that they're stepping right in front of my feathers, dust, and cobweb gelato, and they're sneezing into it. And then after the third day, it's not even, you can't even see the feathers. It's all coated in green biofilm in a mucus that has evolved, and it's probably developing like little micro colonies on the other gelatos, and they're all warring with each other. The point of all this is to say that this is poison. This is a really slowly trickling Chinese water torture of arsenic into your mouth, into your drooling, gaping mouth, to say something as fucking meaningless as, generally we don't want to throw kicks against wrestlers in an MMA fight. You don't really want to throw a kick against a wrestler. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! It's too late. It's too late in the night for me to. I'm pacing around my room. I want you to know I have a wireless headset, and I'm pacing around, shaking my hands in frustration. Let me check if my mic's work. Mic's still working. That's perfect. Shaking my hands in frustration, punching the air. I'm shadowboxing. I'm throwing kicks. I'm throwing knees at the Weasel's stupid fucking head because I can't handle this fucking waste of oxygen. This waste of YouTube space, man. God. Okay. So if you were a coach, an MMA coach, part-time in the Midwest regional scene, and you're teaching the 17-year-old amateur, he joined your gym and he's like, "Hey man, I know you're a pretty busy coach, so I'm just gonna fill you in right now. I signed up. I've got diagnosed stage 2 Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer or something, and I only got I got 2 years, and I barely a quarter of that am I still gonna be healthy for. So I signed up myself for an amateur MMA fight because I was like, fuck it, I saw it on TV. I saw McGregor do it. Why can't I? If Israel Adesanya can have cancer and still fight, why can't I? So yeah, and so you're his coach, and you hear that, and you're like, you're not gonna stop him. But what you're gonna do is give him the most basic, fundamental advice ever. You're not going to be able to teach him a lot of nuance in this time. All you're going to do is, build up his reactions, teach him the basics of footwork, a jab, a straight, a kick, a high kick, a low kick, and how to sit on top of somebody for 15 minutes. And he says, well, what if the guy's a wrestler? You say, don't throw kicks against a wrestler. Don't give him your legs like that. You say that because this guy's got cancer. However, Dricus du Plessis does not have cancer. This is an elite level MMA fight, and the idea that it is ever acceptable to lower the expectations of career fighters, of lifetime fighters, and reducing them and their abilities to things like, you probably shouldn't throw kicks against this guy because he's a wrestler. Why not, right? Why, Weasel, can't you throw kicks against a wrestler? Is he going to say?
He fights by his own rules, and he will throw kicks at the wrestler, which he did against Derek Brunson.
Okay. So you guys can already answer this question, right? I'm sure he's going to say, yeah, actually I do know he's going to say, because I have seen this video. He's going to say, well, because Brunson's going to catch his legs. That's great. What about, oh shit, I got some crazy steam pop up. Is my shit still going? My shit's still going, perfect. Fuck, I can't make a Dricus cancer joke here, I already did that. Alright, reeling myself back. You're gonna answer this question for me, for the Weasel, and you're gonna say, you don't want to throw kicks, you don't want to give him your legs. That's perfect. What about you don't want to throw punches against a judoka? They're all good at grabbing arms. You don't want to give your torso to a Greco-Roman fighter. You don't want to stand in front of a Greco-Roman fighter. He'll grab your body and he'll take you. Like it's so redundant to make statements like that. How come T.J. Dillashaw can throw kicks against wrestlers and not get taken down off of it? It's almost like you can disguise every action. It's almost like any action can be feinted, any action can be disguised, anything can have a proper entry, and anything can be done in a way in which somebody cannot react to, and will eventually be done in a way in which somebody cannot react to. So, oh my god, what about teeps? Sorry. Don't, like he didn't say don't throw round kicks. What about front kicks and teeps and head kicks, right? How many wrestlers are catching head kicks? Regardless, it's really lazy. It is lazy and lame of somebody with 376,000 subscribers. Check his Social Blade. He's probably making like $5 a month off of it, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we need to hold these people to a higher standard, and we're just not. It's so lazy. Here's an example. I'm doing this off the dome. He wrote this fucking thing down, man. He gathered, compiled clips and pictures and was like, oh yeah, No, this is this is a good one. Weasel, you've outdone yourself, he says to himself in his like Albanian compound right before he gets raided by the police. Raided by the police because of me, right? This is a scenario in which I'm getting him arrested for his terrible lack of effort and slop. I think slop farms are illegal in Albania. I think that's this new thing I heard. But Islam Makhachev fought Dan Hooker. Do you guys remember this? Dan Hooker, in the beginning of the fight, threw an inside calf kick with zero attempt to disguise it whatsoever. He doesn't throw semi-commit to a 1-2 and then end it with an inside calf kick. No, he just he just shakes his leg in front of Islam Makhachev. Now the thing about the inside calf kick is I want you to stand up, or if you just know what an inside calf kick looks like, picture it in your head and throw an inside calf kick, and you'll realize with your rear leg, of course, and you'll go, oh my god, I'm kind of just putting my legs in front of each other as if as if I'm on like a DUI and the police pulls me over and asks me to walk in a straight line. Like that is an inside calf kick. A naked inside calf kick is as close to that as you're going to get. He's literally handing Islam Makhachev his legs in that example. All right. So I've explained this part. What about any other type of kick, right? Who's catching Oliveira's... oh god, man! Like I can't even believe I have to explain this. Like the impact, the trajectory, the ability to predict a round kick versus a teep versus like a question mark kick or whatever, or a kick in combination is so different that we can't just rely on examples like Islam Makhachev versus Dan Hooker. We need to think a little deeper. It just sucks. It just sucks that I'm doing this, that I feel compelled to do this because this video is truly that bad. This is my first MMA video. Hello, guys. Hello, new fan base. Y'all gonna watch this and be like, man, he really used to ramble. Now that now that we've got him sedated, he's a lot more concise. But now that I'm, in the past, I'm my past version of myself. I'm not concise whatsoever, as I'm eating not unsweetened, just unsweet dark chocolate chips. I got 0 grams of sugar, and they taste bitter as fuck, and they're probably not good for me. But they're fucking good, man. Oh my god. Oh, they're so good. They're so addictive. I need a bag of chips or something. I really can't live off these. But yeah, it's slop. It's slop. Arnold Allen. Boom. Arnold Allen throws these like little outside lead leg calf kicks while he's like strafing and circling. And how often does he get taken down off of that? Fucking never, because his legs are just in a way where it's frankly just not that easy to like get him square, time it when he's square, especially when he's moving around, especially when he's just throwing them at a time that is awkward. Like, no, I'm done. I'm done with this point. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The Weasel sucks at like understanding anything.
In fact, multiple times in the fight. Double roundhouse kick, starting with the right. Left kick was especially telegraphed. Brunson caught the kick and took the fight to the ground as Drickus tried to roll and escape out of it. All Brunson did was just sit on top, and it put Drickus...
All Brunson did was... Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! I'm palming my face. I'm clawing at it. I'm trying to tear it off completely. And underneath it is actually me, Cameron Simon. This is me. I'm Cameron Simon. I'm here to defend my buddy Drickus against this evil Albanian man. I just made up that he's Albanian. He might be Albanian. Regardless, Brunson did not just sit on Drickus du Plessis. Even though he's giving us like really choppy frames, so it's maybe not the easiest for anybody who hasn't seen the fight to necessarily know what's going on, and because nobody who watches the Weasel actually watches full MMA fights, he can just say whatever he wants. But watch.
Escape out of it. All Brunson did was just sit on top, and it put...
Brunson did not just sit on top. Actually, if Brunson did nothing other than catch the kick and then try to sit down, he would have fallen off. What he did was something that will never be noted by somebody like the Weasel. Ever. And it's called floating. And you might go, well, no, I heard the Weasel say Hamzat floats. Yeah, that's easy. It's easy to watch somebody float, top position. It's easy to watch somebody, sit in full mount and then let somebody, try to hip buck them, and then you just, raise your hips up a little bit. But this is also floating. I'm going to sneeze. I moved my mic away so I could sneeze. I have to check if... Oh, no, I'm still recording. Perfect. All right. This is also floating. And nobody's going to mention it, right? Nobody's going to call it, a cool grappling sequence. Because all Brunson did was sit on him. No, watch. I mean, look what's happening. He's holding onto his leg. And what happened? What would have happened if he tried to keep holding onto his leg? Meanwhile, Dricus has created so much momentum by being a 200-pound ox who's rolling, doing somersaulting forwards. He's letting go and adjusting. He's in a squat right now. Do you know why he's in a squat right now? It's to give him the space, so that way he's not completely attached to Dricus du Plessis and rolling with him. And you can say, oh, well, this looks pretty straightforward. All he did was let go of his leg. Tell that to Arman Tsarukyan when he fought Mateusz Gamrot. Arman is everybody's gonna say he's a great, one of the best wrestlers in the UFC. There's so many instances where if he had just let go of certain positions, he would have had so much more success. He would have, floated. Watch me, I'm doing finger quotes, so you can't see me. I don't have my camera on. But he would have floated, and he would have not lost position as badly. But instead, he did the thing a lot of MMA fighters do, a lot of MMA wrestlers do, and held on to positions too long, and got punished for it, right? He got whipped for it. Anyways, and this is a thing that we're seeing MMA fighters, I think, do a lot better nowadays. Just floating, right? Letting go at the right time, because letting go is, frankly, just as important as holding on. Isn't that beautiful? As Brunson breaks up with Dricus du Plessis' left ankle here. But Brunson floats, Weasel.
And it put Dricus in the position where he's under Brunson, fighting for his own takedown in order for him to stand up. Not necessarily for himself to take the fight to the ground, but on his way up, Brunson did a very good job of countering this by pulling his hips away and throwing in that right underhook. Dricus wasn't paying attention to his position when he was trying to stand up, and once he gets to a single knee, that's when Brunson uses...
What do you mean Dricus wasn't paying attention to where his positioning was when he was standing up? But wait, what does he say?
He wasn't paying attention to his position when he was trying to stand up, and once he gets to a single knee, that's when Brunson uses that left overhook and right underhook to tip Dricus to the side, muscling him to the ground and holding top position when he was trying to tip.
Wait, give me more.
In that right underhook. Dricus wasn't paying attention to his position.
You know what I wish he said? I wish he said Dricus didn't know where his feet were. Because that's the common bad balance critique you'll hear somebody describe he didn't even know where his feet were. Dricus does know where his feet are. And you know what? So do I, and I'm tired of pretending I don't. They're right attached to the bottoms of my legs. I would have nubs, and so would Dricus, if it wasn't for feet. And Dricus actually does know where his body is. What is the statement here? Does Dricus somehow... Dricus's arm was asleep. Dricus didn't elect to feel that his right arm was being gripped with both of Derek Brunson's arms. No. Dricus knew that was happening, actually. That's... Oh, God. Get me out of this hellhole where people who don't train or do anything... And I'm going to be really specific here. Because I don't believe in shitting on people who don't train. Generally. But it is really, really ludicrous when people who are already giving bad takes, already showing how little they know about what's going on, try to make statements like Dricus didn't know where he was or whatever. Or this guy didn't know he's going to do this. What does he think this is, man? So much of fighting is done purely on impulse. The reason You guys train like your wrestling scenarios, your scrambling scenarios, your strikes, your slips, your ducks. You train it 1,000 times. Isn't because like you're gonna get better, between the 999th and the 1,000th. It's just building a reaction in your body because your brain can only hold so much information. If Dricus was taught all of these skills in a university course and was now trying to apply them for the first time, maybe he would actually be so overwhelmed that he wouldn't know where his legs were, or something stupid like that. But this position that Dricus is in right now, this is not the first time he's tried to stand up while somebody was getting an underhook on him. It's just weird. It's so weird and lazy. And you can say it's fine to say, I guess, if you want to make a dramatic video. But this isn't dramatic or good. It is just lazy slop.
Position when he was trying to stand up, and once he gets to a single knee, that's when Brunson uses that left overhook and right underhook to tip Dricus to the side, muscling him to the ground and holding top position in side control. Dricus wasn't paying attention to his position and posture, and you need to have both.
Oh God, yeah, I'm genuinely getting tired from doing this. Okay, here, let's go. Dricus wasn't paying attention to his position. I'm begging you all, pay attention to Dricus's position right now. Look at what he's doing with his right leg right here. This is within a second of being taken down. He immediately is moving to the first position needed to create the escape that he's going to use. A pendulum sweep, I think, or like deep half, open half pendulum. It's one of those things.
When you're fighting someone like Hamza, and generally Dricus doesn't have the best balance. He gets out of position and loses posture many times, not only in trying to get up from the bottom, but also throwing punches and the striking. Dricus overall doesn't have the best balance, and you need to have good balance.
Oh, God. Like, what does that mean, right? He doesn't have the best balance. How many times has Dricus actually fallen over from missing a strike? I can't think of one. I actually can't think of one. I mean, I'm sure it's happened once. I mean, that is the price to pay when you're using so much forward momentum with your strikes and your movements. Is that eventually you will overextend so much that your a huge torso your huge torso will go tumbling forwards and your legs just won't be there to pick you up. And I'm sure that has happened to Dricus, at least in the training room, many times. Um, but holy shit, I lost what I was saying. I was enjoying myself too much there for a moment.
Overall doesn't have the best balance.
Right. Okay. I think this is stupid. I actually think this is really dumb. Dricus is using so much more explosivity and he moving with so much more dynamicism than almost anybody else in the middleweight division. When he throws, there is a much higher, like he's oh my God, he's throwing with so much movement and momentum and effort that you would absolutely lose your balance if you missed. And Dricus isn't really falling over. Like he's falling out of position every once in a while. But position is entirely subjective. There's 100 times where Dricus throws punches, and you're like, "Oh man, this looks crazy," and then he ends up right where he wants to be, right where he needs to be to progress his game plan or whatever. So again, it's the layering a blanket of dry, boring, vague, boilerplate, lame, soy, slop statements over what could be an interesting breakdown.
And you need to have good balance when you're fighting a good wrestler. That could be the main reason Dricus loses to Hamza, is him getting clumsy and imbalanced, toppled over by the strong.
Clumsy, man. Okay. I don't know if he says Dricus has bad technique in this video, but that is the implication, right? If your implication is that Topuria is such a good boxer, he never loses his balance, because I'm sure he said something along the lines of that, then that would probably mean, please don't be like, oh, this is actually you're making a disservative statement by saying that by saying that he's applying this thing. He is. When you say that that great strikers have great balance, and then you're saying Dricus has bad balance, you're implying that he's a bad striker. which is really funny because he's outstriking good strikers, right? And yeah, I guess that's right. This is a blanket statement for me, right? He's outstriking these people. What does that mean? What does outstriking people mean? Timothy Cornbread? Well, I will fucking tell you. He's hitting them, and they are falling over and getting beat up. He's winning the fights. He's actually not lost a UFC fight, as crazy as that sounds. That is all that needs to be said. Now I can say more. And you know what? Maybe I will. Maybe I will say that Dricus is losing his balance intentionally? I don't know. Maybe that's a stretch. How about this? Dricus is doing exactly what he needs to do in all of these fights. Because here's the thing. When Dricus fights Sean Strickland, he knows what Sean Strickland punches like. He has felt the pillow power. The pillow power of Sean Strickland. And he knows that he can take those punches, and he knows he punches a hell of a lot harder. So if you knew that, right, you're fighting somebody, and you recognize that this guy has zero pop in his shots because Strickland, again, the guy who outboxed Adesanya the Great, Strickland, like the Strickland Adesanya fight, everybody will say he objectively outstruck Adesanya, right? Like there's no question of it, right? Okay, why does Strickland have no power? Is that bad technique? I would argue that it is. He's constantly standing straight up. He's like never like really putting that much weight into his back leg, into his front leg. He's not moving his shoulders much with his strikes. His form is often really loopy and wingy when he's not jabbing. So that's that. Ah, God, do you see what I'm saying? I hope this isn't lost on you. I hope this isn't lost in between the ramblings, the 2:36 a.m., the 2:27 a.m. Freak out session that is happening because of how badly the Weasel MMA is doing my brain right now. He's destroying my brain. He's dominating my brain. He's Khamzat Chimaev in my brain. Is the measly, clumsy Dricus du Plessis right now. He's destroying me. But to continue this, right? You're feeling a guy who has no power, and you have more power. You are going to accept taking a punch from him to hit him much harder, and that is exactly what Dricus did. And then somehow people watch this, and they go, "Oh man, Dricus is just walking into these punches. Wait until he fights a guy with some crack, like Israel Adesanya." And then what happens is that Dricus puts his hands up and blocks the punches, and then he murders Israel Adesanya in the octagon. So now that we can acknowledge that Dricus is capable of game planning for fights, of changing, even maybe little things about the fighters he goes up against, that can help us with breaking down this video and how slop it is.
Stronger wrestler. So Brunson gets into side control on top. He's keeping all of his body weight on top of Dricus' chest, pinning him to the ground. Even a strong fighter like Dricus is gonna have a hard time pushing Brunson off of him when he's laying on his chest like that. But man, Dricus is smart. He swings momentum.
Oh my God, Dricus is smart. Wait, hold on. Is my mic still picking up? Hello, microphone. Yay, still is. Cool. Dricus is smart, guys. What does he do?
Into the position, so then he could throw Brunson off of him. So he kicks his left leg up, pushing Brunson. So as he pulls his leg to the mat,
that's called a pendulum sweep. And I understand that this is very much like Japanese jiu-jitsu or judo like Twitter MMA fan who goes, that's actually a kimono gunashami. That's actually a it's actually a hikikomori fujoshi strike he's doing right here. But there is a purpose. There is actually a purpose to me breaking down and going, that's actually a pendulum, because he's going to make the same fucking mistake, man. He's going to do this thing that he's been doing this entire video, and he's going to continue doing this video, where he goes, man, Dricus I don't know how he does it, but he just does these things that work, right? Drickus doesn't do a pendulum sweep. That's too complicated for caveman Drickus. No, Drickus swings his leg forward and uses that momentum.
Swings his upper body forward and bench presses Brunson off of himself.
Oh,
he
God.
literally bench pressed Brunson with momentum. The man is as strong as an ox if he can just get enough space to apply that strength. And by doing that, he captures the half guard. Brunson just laying on top of him, threw a few ground and pound shots and stuff, but it's just looking to keep top position and not allow Drickus to get to his feet. So from half guard, Drickus bumps him up, escapes the position, and shrimps into Brunson. This is something he does a lot in fights. Whenever he's taken to the ground, he likes to shrimp into his opponent. Hip escape.
So, okay, here's another great statement. This is something he does a lot in fights. Really. Whenever he does this a lot in fights, but in the beginning of this video, it's Drickus has only fought one real wrestler. How is he doing this a lot in fights? If he's rarely even fighting people who are going to put him in this position anyways, it's another like, God, man, it's fatiguing to endure the brutal, boring snooze fest that is the Weasel practically lying through his teeth about what's going on. He doesn't know what's going on. He does not train. Meanwhile. No, not meanwhile. Different word. He does not train, and on top of that, that's one I could use. He does not train. And then some. He does not train. And moreover, I'm going to use moreover. And moreover, he is dumb. He doesn't have the brain power. He is not exhibiting the brain power that somebody who has been making content on about the subject for at least 8 years. And on top of this, right, on top of this, like, 8 years of content, he also did say he's trained. He's one of those guys who's like, man, I was actually really good at striking and boxing and grappling and kind of everything, and everybody said I should go pro, but, I just didn't want to. Or, the sport's just too dangerous, man. I remember vividly, how snobbish and what a complete tool he sounded like, talking on his own podcast. Where somebody goes, "Hey, Mr. the Weasel, have you ever trained MMA?" And he goes, he puts his hand on your shoulder and he goes, "Yeah, man. Actually, I have." This is his content style. Is talking like he knows, and then maybe once every 4 years he shares just a little bit with you about his personal life. About how he knows these things. He just does.
Keeping and rising into an underhook, using that to stand up.
Okay, yeah, he gives up his neck, right? Hamza would darce him here.
You see him do that multiple times throughout different fights.
No. I'm gonna stick to.
Countered by Hamza's Darce choke or Bravo choke.
Oh, he said it. He said Bravo choke. That is not a Bravo choke. What you are looking at is not a Bravo choke. Would you like to know why? Because the Bravo is a choke that can only be done in the gi. The Bravo choke is a choke that uses the lapel. You may hear somebody say, "This is the Bravo choke for no gi." It's just going to be a darce, man. You could say this is a baseball choke, actually. I need a camera. I need to turn my camera on. It's too late in the video. But the way Hamza is configuring his hands and the way he's using his forearm to put pressure on the back of Kevin Holland's neck. Sorry. Is very akin to a baseball choke. Here, I look up baseball choke no-gi because I've already gone through this, man. I've already done this with myself. Look at what he's doing, right? With the hands clasped together. There are very few like submissions in MMA that have your hands clasped together like that in such a. Yeah, I mean, look at this, right? What the fuck is going on with that guy's? Is he like a nutcracker? Do you see what I'm seeing right now? Is the guy on the bottom here a nutcracker? Like his chin gonna slide off of his face? Sorry. Anyways, anyways, the Weasel's lying. The Weasel made up a move to sound cool, and this is worth pointing out because with Drickus, Drickus just swings his arms or swings his legs and does this thing. I don't know how he does it. But Chimaev is using a Bravo choke. The premise of this video for him is that Chimaev is really smart and good at everything, and knows everything, and that Dricus is really dumb. And that is just so boring. I was a lot more. I had a lot more energy when I recorded this yesterday because I think hearing Bravo choke was just such a sleeper agent trigger word. Is my mic still working? Yep. All right. Such a sleeper agent trigger word for me that I immediately rose out of my near catatonic um, slop watching state and immediately hit the record button and had to go back to the start and really just break everything down to show you how much I despised the Weasel. It was this comment. It really was this. It was this comment. It was calling this a Bravo choke that started everything. I've watched so many Weasel videos and thought they were bad and wondered to myself, when's somebody going to really talk about this? But I couldn't bring myself to doing it because I didn't care. I care now. Today I care because this is a terrible, terrible, terrible attempt, man. It's like he's a child. Genuinely, this is something I would forgive if a child was making a YouTube video. Or somebody who had a very clear emphasis on being like a casual fan, or or just like an enjoyer of the sport or whatever, or just trying his hand out in content. I'm not trying to do like you're a casual, you're a hardcore. I hate making this kind of distinction. What the Weasel is a bad person from the soul, and somebody who will lie, and somebody who will pretend to know things for aura to feel better about himself. I'm gonna like this is getting so bad, and I'm so disgusted right now that I'm really, really on the verge of psychoanalyzing him. I'm gonna start talking about his broken childhood home, or something, because it's the only way I could genuinely rationalize a human being this miserable.
Of which he's used against Kevin Holland. And no one Dricus has fought is skilled with a Darce or Bravo, right? The Bravo choke would be putting his arm under the arm on the right side, and then...
It's called an anaconda choke. He says the Bravo multiple times, right? And you gotta have to remember, he's not freestyling these fucking videos, man. He's not me. He's not as cool as I am. He's recording. Oh, he wrote down Bravo choke, dude.
And around the neck.
Where did he get that? Did he get that from an Instagram reel about some grappling dude who's like a purple belt on Instagram, and he's like, my name's Steve Yun. Is that weird? Is that weird that I sort of picture like a lot of these Instagram jiu-jitsu guys as like being Asian, but like with like white guy first names, like Steve Yun, Joseph Chen. Hey, that's a real guy. I made up a real person on accident. Anyways, and I'm gonna show you how to do the Bravo for Nogi. Here's the De La Hiva for Nogi. Lapel chokes for Nogi. Make sure you watch to the very end.
The Darce choke is the opposite. It'll go from the neck following through under the arm. So it's essentially going from 0 to 100 for Dricus to fight against. And by giving up his neck, Brunson goes for the guillotine. He doesn't...
Okay. I'm going to end this sort of tangent where I'm paused on the whole get up game thing, and just say that Dricus game plans. That is his whole thing, right? That's his whole thing to everybody who like wants to hate him, where they're like, oh, he's bad at fighting, but he's good at game planning or something. Yeah, sure, whatever, man. Why even engage with this fucking hypothetical conversation, right? Why do you have to do this like if Dricus gave Hamza a rear naked choke, if Dricus fell over on the ground and just started kicking his feet around like a baby, Hamza could probably kill him. If you gave Hamza Chimaev a gun and Dricus du Plessis was in this position, let's just say, I can't say that. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad, and it's this is something that autistic people do. You may not know this, but it is a very common habit of people with autism to have like a relatively limited imagination despite living in fantasy all the time. It's like if you watched your favorite show and instead of going, what if I was in my favorite show? that's too dangerous of an experiment for you. Because the reality is you'd be doing the same thing you're doing right now, which is sitting down and like eating chips or eating unsweet Trader Joe's unsweet 100% cacao chocolate chips like I'm doing. You put me in the show, Dexter. You put me in Breaking Bad. I'm at home eating chocolate chips. But instead, right? As I'm continuing with this tangent, people with autism really love doing this thing where they put two of their favorite cartoon slop shows or like fictional slop shows together. What if MLP was? What if Dexter Morgan was in My Little Pony or something like that, right? That's all Chris Chan did. That's all. What's his name? DeWease24, like John Stevens or some name like that. I'm just sorry. You're making me come up with autistic people on the spot to defend these really strong arguments I'm making. But I'm not gonna do any research because, you know, isn't that the point? Isn't the point of all of this that I can come up with more interesting things to say, more complex things to say, on a complete whim than the Weasel, who has 8 years of content creation and script writing experience? Can you imagine that? You would hire somebody on the spot to make videos for you if they said I have 8 years of script writing experience because the Weasel could say that. 8 years of content creation. What if Drickus was in the dog with Hamzat? That's it, man.
And try to keep the position.
That's all he
Drickus is
has.
standing up, defending with his left hand, but posting to stand up with his right hand.
Nope, no, sorry. Actually, I'm continuing this for the final time and saying that smart people and people that know what they're talking about and people that have any degree of experience, combined with like reasonable intelligence, can do things other than just put people in pre-existing hypotheticals, right? If you know what you're looking at, you can actually do a little bit of brain power, of meditation, right? Of real energy, chi, harvesting, transformative brain matter manipulation, and create in your head patterns for somebody like Hamza Chimaev and for somebody like Dricus du Plessis. And I don't mean patterns like, Dricus, every time he fights a wrestler, also, by the way, Dricus has only fought one real wrestler, he gives his head, he stands up, or whatever. I mean, like, identifying the series of techniques that somebody will use. Like, Hamza Chimaev does a lot of very similar things every time he train wrestles and leg rides and does all these things against the fence, right? He gets one hook in, he pressures them into the fence, he makes it hard for them to turn in, he lets them make mistakes, he doesn't necessarily aggressively backtake, which is something that he'll lie about in this video. But instead of that, right? Instead of somebody who's like an actual analyst and can look at things and make predictions, the Weasel can't make predictions. He has to go, what if this guy was in here?
Then Brunson does
Next.
something that Hamza would never do. He jumps the guillotine, goes on his back. Dricus easily pulls his head out of it. Now, there's multiple moves here that Hamza would have done better than Brunson. First, it would not be pulling a guillotine and getting on his back. In fact, I think that's a dead move in MMA now. Usually gets the guy throwing the submission into a worse position.
I should have paused sooner, for dramatic effect. I really hate this. I really hate that he's still doing this. He's just adding another sneeze to my fucking cobweb gelato. And I take that shit really seriously, man. I put those feathers in myself. Christ. No. Pulling guillotines in MMA is not dead. Not whatsoever. The issue is a lot of things. What happened when Charles Oliveira pulled his guillotine against Arman Tsarukyan? Your first reaction is, well, he didn't get it, did he? So not only did he, do a lot of round-winning effort by having a super fucking tight submission that he would not have gotten if he tried to pull a standing guillotine off of Arman. Arman would have just, done some, cool gator roll shit out of it. I don't know. But, or just fought the grip better. It's really awkward to fight the grip when you're on the ground versus when you're standing. Jesus Christ. Okay, no, I'm still going. There's more. It's that Charles Oliveira was able to use that effort, right? He's able to use that guillotine that he pulled and flip Arman into mount. This is just like a leg locks don't work in MMA. Meanwhile, people can throw up leg locks and then completely negate any of their opponent's top pressure, right? People can pull guillotines and do so much with it. They can cause so many scrambles and flip people over and shit. It's like people don't know what they're watching. This is another guy. Oh my god, this is another reason why he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's because he can watch somebody like pull a guillotine and then like reverse it into mount and then be like, see, the guillotine doesn't work. The guillotine worked. In this example, Brunson is Derek Brunson. So no, his guillotine does not work. Because guess how many submissions Derek Brunson has in his MMA career? I think 2. I'm just going to go on a whim and say 2. Maybe 3. No. Sorry, it's 5. It's 5, right? I think it's 5. I think at least 3 of them are against guys who have like losing MMA records. I will actually prove this right now. Derek Brunson. Derek Brunson. Derek Brunson. 5 submission wins. All right. So here they are. John Bryant and Lumumba Sayers. John Big Dog Bryant and Lumumba Heavy Hand Sayers. And then come on, give me one more guess. I'm really looking. Fuck, I just coughed. I hope that wasn't like too into my mic. No, wait, no, yes, 2 UFC subs. Where is the other sub? I don't care. Oh my god, I so don't care. But I'm just gonna show you, for example, what his 2 UFC submissions were, right? Because his 2 UFC submissions were Brian Houston and fat fuck Darren Till. Do I need to go into any more detail about why getting a submission over fat fuck Darren Till doesn't matter whatsoever? Okay, yeah, Brian Houston. This is the other UFC level talent that Derek Brunson submitted, 6 and 7. John Bryant 2 and 8. Lumumba Sayers 6 and 5. Am I done now? Point being, this is a dumb comparison. Second point being, Dricus du Plessis was not preparing to even fight submissions off remotely against Derek Brunson. That is why he's giving him his neck and wrestling up that way. Not complicated, man.
If you're going for a guillotine, keep it standing, go for a high elbow. Pulling the guillotine.
No! Okay, yeah, what happens if you're 5'2", pulling a high elbow guillotine against evil, scary, terrifying flyweight Charles Johnson, who's like 5'9" or whatever, right? What happens if you're so much shorter than the guy and you're trying to get leverage? You're not going to be able to get leverage. Like, there's so many, I say that, meanwhile, like, in this picture, Trishan Gore's getting his guillotine against, like, a guy who's 4 inches taller than him. Maybe more. But Antonio Tricoli is on heroin. That's a real thing that I'm not making up. Antonio Tricoli was on heroin in all these fights. I don't care if you can standing submit a guy on heroin who's strung out and much taller than you. That's not impressive to me. Continuing.
Guillotine to the ground is way too risky, and fighters these days are so good at defending.
What if it's the last 20 seconds in the fight? Right? You stand a guillotine in the last 20 seconds of the fight. What if the guy gets out? What if the guy just starts beating the fuck out of your body or whatever? You pull a guillotine. At least if you can hold on to it, you're still like threatening until the end of the round. Like, you know what I'm saying, man? There's so many variables that are never going to be covered by these whack job. Do you like when I say whack job? Because I like when I say whack job. I sound old-timey. I need an accent. I need a transatlantic accent. I need to call little kids ankle biters. I need to call little kids. No, I need to call little kids ankle biters. That's like what they do. They put their fedora on and they say, "Honey, I'm home. How's the ankle biter doing?" That needs to be me instead of eating Trader Joe's 100% cacao. Fuck! I just spilled them everywhere.
It's not even worth it. Hamza would not do that. I think in this position right here, where Dricus is posting his right hand to the ground as he's standing up, Hamza would do a dart stroke right there. The same submission he beat.
Yeah. I do too, man. I can't. What are you talking about? And dude, Chimaev wouldn't even do that in late round 2. Actually, you get 7 minutes into the fight, Dricus can give his neck all fucking day. Hamza's not going for shit. I really mean that.
Kevin Holland with. The Dart choke is especially effective here because it goes for the submission around the neck, but also keeps top position on the opponent from standing up. You could pull them to the mat, acting like a headlock, or the fighter can roll with it.
Acting, it is a headlock. What do you mean acting like a headlock? It is a headlock. That's why it's called the front headlock series, because it's all positions you do from a front headlock. It's a lock with your arms over his head, man.
Right to the ground. So that's another thing I think Hamza would do better here. And most likely, Hamza's not going to just lay on top of Dricus without
Also, I think that was the anaconda in that shot. Anyways.
advancing position and throwing more
Sorry, I mean the Bravo.
ground and pound shots. Now, of course, Dricus could just hold him and stall it out, but Hamza's always making an effort.
Oh, here we go. This is a thing I'm just now picking up. No, that's a lie. But I'm picking it up and showing it off now. I'm picking it up and showing it off, guys. I'm showing myself off to you. This is really funny, right? Is that earlier in the video, I'm at 5:22. Earlier in the video, right? He talks about, you know, Dricus being taken down and how Dirkus Brunson hammers, Brandon Ribeiro, Ming Yang Jiang's just on top of Dricus, Islam Makhachev's just on top of Duplessis right here, and he's just crushing him, right? There's no space in between.
And you need to have both when you're fighting someone like Hamza. Gets to the ground. Even a strong fighter like Dricus is gonna have a hard time pushing Brunson off of him when he's laying on his chest like that.
Right. Brunson's so tight. And then, and he's like, you know, even a strong guy is going to have a lot of issue. And then when he talks about this pendulum sweep, he's like, you give Dricus any space and he gets up. Meanwhile, 5 minutes, 22 seconds into the video, he's like, Hamza's not going to just stay there. He's going to, give you space to work up? He's going to do the thing that is to the advantage of this guy. He's, every time he's like, you see Hamza would never just lay there and crush this guy. Hamza would work. As if that isn't what he just said isn't the right thing to
advance
do.
His position on the ground to the most dominant that he can possibly get, and I think he'll do the same thing.
Oh god!
Effort from Hamza on attacking Dricus when he's on top than Derek Brunson did. And while
Brunson, he said Dirk Brunson too. That's not just me.
Eventually they get into a leg lock position. Brunson defends it, and now Dricus has to escape the position yet again. But this time, with Brunson getting the back, he's trying to get his right hand around to the neck, throws a left hand for ground and pound, so he is getting busy with his attacks. Most likely how Hamza would. And
oh my god, that's how every MMA fighter would do that. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Are you mentally ill? Are you actually like crazy? Are you schizo? Do I have to censor some of this? Like, am I just attacking somebody too much? Anyways, what is wrong with you to say something like this, right? What is your mental issue in which you can constantly make blanket statements like, no, I don't think you should be doing this in MMA at all. Actually, pulling guillotines, I think that's a dead move in MMA. And yet, you can watch. Is my mic still working? Is my mic still? It still is. Cool. And yet, you can watch, you know, somebody do something that happens in every fucking MMA fight, where people are striking in between these little grappling sequences, and then go, oh, that's a neat thing. Hamza's gonna do that. Oh god.
As Dricus is trying to stand up, Brunson.
You know what I'm saying, right? Like, you understand that there's a difference between saying every MMA fighter should do this and saying, oh, Hamza's gonna do that, right? It's the implication that Hamza's any special for doing something that everybody does.
A right hook around that single knee on the ground and stops Dricus from standing up, keeping the position. He has a seatbelt grip around the body, right arm.
Dude, I love this part so much. Oh my god. I'm rubbing my feet together like a cricket, dude. I'm so fucking excited for this part.
Over the shoulder and left arm under. After turtling, Dricus tries it again. He tries to stand up, even though Brunson has that right hook in. And honestly, there was nothing stopping him from throwing his left hook in there as well. Well, actually, the only thing that was stopping him was his own left arm. He couldn't.
Dude, look at Dricus's fucking left foot. It is touching his hand. He's literally about to touch his hand. He's touching his toes right now. His right foot is so far away from his hand. It is so easy for Brunson to get that right hook in. His left knee, we can't see it, but I promise you, it is so close to his torso that it would be incredibly awkward and energy wasting for Brunson to attempt so. No! Scary pop-up! And it's over. It's over. I saved you guys. It would be incredibly fucking wasteful for Hamza to try the second leg hook. And you know what? There's a second thing about this. So notice how I said Derek Drickus, Brunson Duplessis, Drickus do Brunson. Fuck. Drickus is like touching his foot right here, or practically doing so. The implication of that is that Drickus's ass is pointing at the fucking moon, which means he's way too high for somebody to take his back. What, is Brunson gonna Suluev stretch him from here?
Let go.
Oh, Hamza Chimaev would absolutely get the Suluev stretch from this position. The reason people would go, for example, for the Suluev stretch is because they are falling off because he is too high. Brunson is too high right now. He's going to fall off. How does he not see this?
So the quick hook in there, go for the neck to get Drickus
Why isn't he just going for the neck?
to focus and defend against.
Has he seen an MMA fight?
Against the choke instead of the hook.
I want to put this at 2x speed, but I can't put you through that.
Something that Hamza most likely would have done.
No.
There. It would have been a lot easier, better position, without the effort of what Brunson does next. So instead of going for both the hooks, Brunson lets go of his single hook,
Letting go in MMA, super important.
throws his legs up in the air, and with momentum, cradles Drickus by grabbing.
Okay, besides this being fucking awesome, and look at how his left knee's already on the ground. That's actually really, really cool. I never noticed that. Or not already on the ground, but already about to be on the ground, right? He's already like bracing for the position because he's so smart and awesome, and Brunson is the greatest fighter of all time, maybe. But the thing that is just so funny to me is the way he elects to call things a waste or inefficient versus what he calls efficient. Earlier, he's talking about how Drickus was using momentum and how good that was. He's using momentum to bench press this guy. That's a good thing, right? Momentum means you're using gravity. And gravity doing the work for you is a good thing. That's why it's so much easier to punch somebody when you're on a top position than when you're on bottom position, because gravity is working against you when you're on bottom position. Right. You're following what I'm saying, guys.
Onto that leg and rolling him to the ground.
So calling it a waste of effort when all Brunson had to do was just let go and then fall with him is ridiculous. He went from absolutely about to lose this position because he was not going to be able to keep these fucking hooks. To ending all the way back up in the cradle. Really, really awesome.
But it only put him in the same position.
It didn't. They transitioned to the. He transitions magically to this part, just cutting at the fact that Drickus actually worked to get up. There's a lot of things Brunson could have done from there, from that cradle, right? He could.
Rolling him to the ground. Very high level move from Brunson.
Oh my god, my fucking Microsoft Copilot thing opened up. Man, anyways.
Put him in the same position that
he just lies, right? Like he's just lying through his teeth again.
They originally were at. So
no, this isn't the same position whatsoever, dude. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
Effective move, but it wasn't that efficient. It was a.
That's not true. That's not true at all. That was so efficient. That was hyper efficient. That's the word.
High effort, high level move, just to get into the same position that they were. Because
throwing up right now. Throwing up everywhere.
Right, for Hamzat, he wouldn't need to do that. He would never need to go for some move like that because he would have gotten the back in that position.
Oh, yes, he did it. He transitions. Hey, guys. So, pausing the video to let you know that global terrorism is sponsored by NordVPN. I have to cut that out. Why did I say that? Sorry, pausing the video to show you. To show you this image, and I'm hoping that it is like a VHC tape. Whoa. VCH? VHC. VHR. VHR tape. VRH. No. It's a floppy disk, right? Being inserted into your scrotum. It's inserted into your like receiver, whatever. And it's booting up your memory, and you're going, oh my god, wait, this is a shot where Brunson's too high and Drickus' ass is in the air. I wonder where Usman's ass is pointing at this in this part. The ground. Usman is just standing here, and he's practically in a squat. This is the easiest position to ride somebody's back from.
And then Drickus starts standing up and.
Right? Okay. I hope I don't need to like freak out about that part. I really.
Brunson.
Yeah.
Looks like
continuing.
He just doesn't know how to stop him from standing anymore. He doesn't throw in the hooks. He doesn't attack the neck. He doesn't throw ground and pound. He doesn't try to control the position. He literally stands up.
Okay. No, I'm gonna go back. I'm actually gonna go back. Brunson only gets one hook in. Right? He's only getting one hook in this position. Right. Look, I mean, look at how high Dricus's knee is. Brunson would like have to fucking fall over or jump 3 feet off the ground to get a hook in. Here, let's go to that shot I was talking about earlier about Hamzat.
Fighting
Nope,
Brunson
no.
and Whitaker,
Nope.
the guy who
Yeah, how many hooks does Hamzat have in here, right? I mean, he's attempting a rear naked choke with one hook in. And I think we see this, yeah, we see this here, one hook in, right? Why doesn't he just slide the other one in? Seems easy to me, right? Derek Brunson in this position. Derek Brunson, you never catch Derek Brunson in this. Can I skip? Can I skip a little bit? Oh, God.
Dricus just stand up the way Brunson just did there. So Brunson's rushing forward, throwing punches the way he did.
I'm sure there's going to be some like strength comparison, right? Like Hamza would continue the takedown. This is 50 seconds left in the first round. Hamza Chimaev is usually being swarmed by a circle of crows, ready for him to fall over from exhaustion 50 seconds into round one, so that they can pick at him and eat all of the meat off his bone. And I'm sure they would target his shiny cleft lip first. And you may be going, that's not true. Hamza shot a takedown in the second round against. In all of Hamzat's fights where he's grappling and he's destroying these people in the first round, they are not grappling back whatsoever. Dricus fighting somebody back is the big deal breaker in this fight against Hamzat Chimaev. Boom, that's a little sneak peek into my actual opinion on Dricus versus Chimaev. Dricus fights back everywhere. He very rarely just gives up something like position without a fight. So it's just crazy to go like, oh, Hamza would do this in this position. In what? In 50 seconds left to go of round one, after like wrestling and cradling and swinging back and forth, going from back takes on, like maybe Hamza's picking up Dricus. Dricus is fucking huge, dude. All of Hamzat's crazy strength performances are against welterweights. That's a real case. Hamzat versus Whitaker was actually not a strength performance. In fact, Whitaker got up a few times, which is something people seem to forget, that Whitaker actually was getting up.
Usually does, rushing the opponent with all of his power. And
No, wait, I'm going to say more. So why I'm saying that the resistance matters so much. If you are punching a heavy bag, you could probably do it for a really long time. In fact, Derek Lewis probably punch a heavy bag for 25 minutes straight. Maybe he would die, but he could do it. He might die, but he could punch a heavy bag for 25 minutes straight. But if I'm holding the bag and then I just start throwing the bag out of the way and like making him miss and he fucking stumbles over, that's gonna be so much more exhausting for him, man. He probably can only do that for 20 minutes. No, 15 minutes. No, 10 minutes. It's fucking Derek Lewis. I might have said Dricus Lewis, man, at this point. I don't know. It's 3:03 a.m. now. But dude, I butt a lot. I'm gonna have to whip myself into shape if I'm gonna make more of these YouTube videos. But and then say you add something like, oh, I'm now throwing the heavy bag away and I'm starting to throw punches at Derek Lewis. Now Derek Lewis has to think about multiple things. What if he misses, right, and tires himself out? What if I hit him? Now he has to act, and now he has to move, and he has to move his feet, and he has to think, and he has to prepare, and he has to plan, and all these things that are happening. That I'm gonna get water. It's no. You're coming with me. You guys are coming with me to get this water. My throat hurts, and I'm gonna continue that point the second I get back. Cranberry lime, sparkling water, polar seltzer. It's good. It's good. It's fine. It's sparkling water. They all taste the same. I'm suffering throat fatigue. Fuck, as I often do. Heyo. Point being, Hamza gets away with a lot because he's fighting people that are scared of him, and therefore they game plan to purely defend, and it's really easy to hit a heavy back. It's really easy to grapple against somebody who's resisting, but only in the sense that they're trying to defend your moves. You could do it for a surprisingly long time. I don't think Hamzat is going to be able. I don't think the Hamzat we've seen, I guess, is going to be able to perform impressive cardio feats against Dricus, because Dricus is going to be fighting in every single scenario. Like, if the whole point is like, oh, look at Dricus wrestling up here, Hamzat's going to get a sub on him. Who is Hamzat actually submitting? Oh, I'm saying it. Yeah, I am saying it. No, I'm saying who is Hamzat submitting. Is that a crazy thing to say? It is. I don't care. How many times has Dricus been submitted? Oh, okay, yeah, there was that one time. That was EFC. He's 4-0. I don't care. And Gareth McClellan is the GOAT, dude. He's the soldier boy. Affiliate of Quan Weasels, man. BJJ and MMA Academy. This guy's fuck. Split lust with Alessio and Jericho. Oh, that's really bad. The Drickus one got him into the. Okay, no. We're not straying from the mission here. Who is Hamzat actually submitting? Right? Hamzat is submitting. I'm not even counting this. He broke Whitaker's face. No. He re-injured an already broken jaw. That's not impressive. I'm sorry. Whitaker would have gotten out of that. Couldn't submit 6 days notice, Kamaru Usman. He submitted 30-pound weight disadvantage Kevin Holland. I'm not even Jing Lang Lee, bro. And John 22-11 Phillips. John Phillips lost the majority of his UFC fights by submission. You want to know who John Phillips got submitted by? Charles Byrd. 10-7 Charles Byrd is 10-7 Charles Byrd actually fought I'll say it, a more in his prime version of John Phillips than Hamzat Chimaev did. And you know what? Charles Byrd submitted him sooner than Hamzat did. Let's talk about that, huh? I'm kidding a little bit, guess. But I'm not. But I'm actually not. Because the whole point of this video is if Hamzat was here, he would have done it. 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 Why isn't he sometimes?
Dricus shoots a counter takedown against all that aggression, and you think it would actually work, but he just didn't have enough power to throw it forward and counter the momentum of Brunson, so when he shoots a takedown, Brunson topples over him, with Dricus essentially taking
I don't care.
game-over move. If he ever does this against Hamzat.
Not even true, with 48 seconds in the round. If Hamzat Chimaev is in a not greatly settled mount, and he is sitting down, right, but he's really high up, which is kind of awkward. It means Dricus. Fuck that sparkling water. It means Dricus has a lot of space, right, to move his legs, to bridge, things like that. This isn't a properly settled mount. He is over an arm, which is cool, but that can also actually be a really huge disadvantage. That's how you can do something cool, like a Joseph Benavidez funk roll. Is it called funk rolling? You know what I'm talking about? That super deep, upside down Sakuraba low single thing that people do to escape takedowns. I'm talking to myself. Regardless, this is a dumb point, right? This is another slop take, right? If Hamzat's sitting on top of Dricus awkwardly with 48 seconds left to go in round one, I think Dricus would live, right? I'm not saying it's not even up for debate, but the debate would just be a boring, autistic, like flagellatory, even at least for me, like process of just enduring the most brain rot discussions of like, what if if Hamza was here? You know who Hamza submitted? What's Hamza gonna do from here, right? Like, ha, is Hamza gonna do a paper cutter or a cigar slicer? You know what that is? I met Eddie Bravo, Eddie Bravo. Oh my God, the Bravo choke! It's coming back to haunt me. Holy shit! I'm so sleep deprived that the Weasel's actually like using Albanian brain warfare.
Brunson, that would be a game over move if he ever does this against Hamza. If Hamza
Dude, he's laughing to himself. I want him to cry. I want to watch the Weasel cry.
is rushing forward with punches, and Dricus tries to not
I don't
only
care.
full mount, but his arm is under Brunson too. He can
That's tough. That's actually tough.
only defend himself with one arm, but Dricus goes to defend himself the way he can best, and that is to give up his back. He has to. There's no way he's going to be sitting under Brunson, defending ground and pound with one arm. He needs to move and rotate and roll around, whatever he can do, and see if the position gets any better. So he gives up his back, and Brunson doesn't even flow with him at all. He doesn't throw in the left hook. His left leg is just
Doesn't throw on the left hook? Hey, this guy's not throwing in the left hook while he attempts a rear naked choke. Please cut to Hamza attempting a rear naked choke. Oh, he's not doing it. What the fuck? Fine, I'll go back and do it myself. Okay, wrong clip. Wait, hold on. Yeah, here's... He doesn't even have the left hook in either, and he's doing a rear naked choke, and that's the one he gets. But because Hamza got it, it's, oh, look at him get the rear naked choke. Oh God.
Now his rear naked choke is on the side, as it gives Dricus enough control
This is literally,
to rotate.
oh my God, I'm banging my
But
head.
then Brunson just lets go of the choke. Dricus
Because he didn't have it, because he's not fighting a guy who's permanently injured in his lower jaw. 2x, I'm 2xing it, fuck you.
pull his arm off. He didn't fight his way out of there. Brunson just let go of the choke and sat on top again. He does that a lot. Right? Hamza will be attacking that face ring until he breaks your teeth in. So because Brunson is just sitting on top, he has to
Hamza does that a lot? Wait, who does what a lot? Hold on.
get out of there. Brunson just let go of the choke and sat on top again. He does that a lot. Right? Hamza
He does what a lot? He lets go of the choke a lot? The only other one was the guillotine, and he let go of that because he fell out of it. Like, he's just saying stuff. This is, please, guys. Control F for Bravo. Oh, no, do not full screen this slop. Holy shit, get this off. Bravo. No matches. Nobody's, they're all conforming. Guys, I'm urging you to... Hold on. I need to think about this. What kind of call to action am I making? I can't say anything violent. I would never do that. I'm urging everybody watching this who has gotten to this point to do something meaningful and unsubscribe from the Weasel. Dislike this video if you think you ought to dislike this video, and unsubscribe if you think you ought to after listening to my statements. But what I really, really think that this is all about, and what I'm trying to give should be a lesson for, is that I think you can all do better in the content you're consuming, because this is really, really bad. This is another sneeze in my gelato. I said there's 1,000 customers, and they're all sneezing, and I can't control it. You actually can control this one guy, this one routine customer who sneezes in your gelato about 8 times a fucking day, because that is the Weasel.
Hamza will be attacking that face crank until he breaks your
There's no hook.
teeth.
Oh my god. It breaks your teeth. Do I have to talk about this? How his teeth were already broken?
So because
Hey, look, there's a little guy. Hey, it's a little guy. Hold on. Am I not going back? There we go. Look, you see him? Okay.
So because Brunson is just sitting on top, he has to pulse himself on the ground with both hands. That gives Dricus an option to attack the arm 2-on-1. So nothing.
I don't care.
If Brunson had both hooks in, Dricus will not be able to roll out like that easily. So
Both hooks in mount? Oh, no. Both hooks on the back. That's so true. You know what's crazy? Is that when Whitaker stood up from Hamza Chimaev, multiple times. I just remember the like libel thing that I said earlier. That's really bad. I really need to take that out of the video. Anyways, if Drickus, wait, what was I? No. It doesn't matter. Whitaker did this. Whitaker had this done to him because Hamzat didn't get two hooks in because he doesn't get two hooks in very frequently. Only when the submission's fully fucking locked in and he has a regular back take. Up in the middle of the mat, not against the fence, will he actually get both hooks in and go for the choke like that. So another mute point. They should call it a mute point because I'm pressing the M button on my keyboard and now I'm listening to the video with no audio and I get to dictate. Actually, we're gonna do this. No, I'm not. Oh, maybe I am. Maybe I'm gonna play this video and I'm just gonna. Okay, hold on. Going back a few seconds. Pressing the M button, muting the Weasel, and I'm gonna give my own commentary. And you guys tell me if you like this more. Okay, guys. So what Drickus, you can see he's grimacing a lot, so he must clearly be in pain. Oh no, he bites Brunson's arm, and this is just like how Whitaker tried to bite Hamzat, but Hamzat, because he's too strong and too good at fighting, Hamzat just broke his teeth. Whereas Drickus gets to headbutt Brunson's arm, and Brunson immediately lets go. He says, "Ow," and he looks up towards the ref, trying to do anything about it. But instead decides to take a bite out of Drickus's, and then Drickus recoils in pain from the bite, and then they both just start hugging and making out. Sorry.
Brunson to the fence and throwing the left elbow to disengage. Very good stuff from Drickus. Not the greatest from Brunson, honestly. I'm looking at this from a Hamzat standard, so very.
Could the Weasel spell Hamzat Chimaev? And you can say, you could, if you wanted to, be a brave man and say, well, he spelled it right in the title. I'm not convinced he wrote the title. I'm not convinced he can read or write. I'm not convinced he hasn't been abducted and his voice was cloned. And AI content was made out of his channel for the past several years. Because none of what he's doing is... It's like unrighteous, almost. It's like the opposite of righteous. It's like the opposite of like good, right? It is bad. This is like almost evil. This is evil, actually. This is genuinely evil.
Very high level grappling standard, and Brunson is.
It's slop. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. Oh my god, yeah. Here's Brunson. Sorry. Here's Brunson. Here's Brunson Mayev. Here's Brunzat Chiderakev. Here's Derek Zat Brunson Mayev. With both hands on the mat, right? And getting his here's Hamzat getting too fucking high on the back. A lot
of stuff that Hamzat would. So here.
And now he has to let go because getting two hooks in was dumb.
Here in the striking, Drickus throws a left parry into a right hook, eliminating the right hand of Brunson and also putting his focus.
Drickus is clearly going for a hug in the shot.
On that side, instead of the side of the right hook. But the punch is slightly telegraphed and Brunson ducks under it. You would think he would shoot a takedown here as Drickus throws his entire body at Brunson. But Brunson doesn't commit with a takedown. Now Drickus did have...
Sorry, I shuddered. I actually shuddered there. I got like goosebumps. Fuck, dude, I wish I could show you guys. I have actual goosebumps around my body. Around my huge muscles. Just peppered with little goosebumps. I actually dude, Weasel's giving me chills. What am I supposed to say? That this video is so bad that I got chills. I cannot believe what I'm listening to sometimes. This is round two. This is a round two. This is a whole 6 minutes into Derek Brunson. Drickus is not fighting a human being. Drickus is not fighting a conscious person at this point. Derek Brunson, after the first like 4 minutes, is puppeted entirely by his unconscious Jungian alter archetype, his dark spiritual archetype. I think Brunson would be the Wanderer. Is that tough? Is that trim, guys? Brunson and Jungian archetype. Derek Duplessis and Jungian archetypes. All right. Anyways.
Of an elbow which he uses to get away from
Elbow
Brunson.
frame, that's awesome. I love full frames and barges like that.
Collided with Brunson, there was at least an opportunity for Brunson to try to go for a takedown, which Hamza
Against somebody with double, like 2 underhooks on one side? Like if you're, I guess, man, but not if you're Brunson right now, because Brunson's entirely motivated by these spiritual. Wait, hold on. Let me check my. No, pause the fucking video. Okay, no, my mic's still going. Sorry, let me. I'm not doing this right.
most likely would have. Now, striking wise, Hamza could use that opportunity to line up a straight shot through the center, as Drickus is disengaging.
Dude, shut the fuck up. What? Whoa, I can't even feign like a crazy reaction anymore. He's genuinely overwhelming me. He's marauding me with brain rot. He's nope.
But one of Drickus' best abilities is to understand the fight and adjust throughout. Or maybe he's not the most technical fighter. Maybe his form isn't the cleanest or anything.
Okay, nitpicky, I guess, but worth talking about, right? What is clean form? Because it's working for Drickus. If you say clean form is something that you throw that is, like, effective, I feel like Drickus throws really effectively. I don't know if I can say, like, the most effective in the sport, or anything, like, any crazy wild statement like that. But when you think about it, this is a guy who is a ball of muscle, or, I mean, not a ball of muscle as in, like, he's round, but, like, he's a brick. This guy's a brick, a cinder block. Who is able to throw with power in the first and in the fifth. And that is not genetics purely, right? This is really good understanding of body mechanics, I guess is like the right way to say it. Because he is using his motion and momentum so much, and he does it in his grappling too, so that's how you know it's not an accident, right? The fact that he uses momentum in both his striking and his grappling so clearly should be a really big tell that this is somebody who actually just has like a really good grasp of that sort of thing. That's the thing a lot of people don't get. Drickus is able to throw with his entire body and not be tired in the 5th round, and I mean, he's tired, but, you know, God. I don't know why I'm doing this thing, right? I'm like pre-rebuttaling. That's a word I picked up at one of my jobs, at doing sales, right? It's like you pre-rebuttal, you know, you give a pitch to somebody, and then you're like, I know what you're gonna say. But the problem is I do know what you're gonna say. I know what you're thinking. Because you can't possibly handle criticism. I hope the Weasel's watching this. Oh God, I would split my cock in half and use both hands to masturbate at peak velocity if I ever found out that the Weasel was watching this video right now. I hate you.
Like that, he can adjust throughout the fight and shows good fight IQ. So now knowing that Brunson's gonna duck his head under punches, he's going to trigger that out. So he can...
Hold on, wait. No, he talks about the elbow frame again later. Okay, I had to make sure.
The lineup his shots as Brunson's head is lower, so he can get around the target to the temple, behind the ear, all those different vital areas of the head.
So
the
bad.
Left hook. Looks like Brunson's going for a takedown. His eyes are on the floor, and Drickus disengages, switches stances to throw off any potential takedown. So very good defense there from Drickus.
Switches stances to throw off a takedown. Yeah, I guess. Retracts. Like, I mean, stance switching is... It's crazy how stance switching is just stepping your right foot forward or your left foot forward. Because I think sometimes, I don't know, there's like a degree of intent behind the word stance switching. But that is what's happening. There's no reason to be nitpicky about this. And on the other note, I don't think it's worthwhile to go through and critique too much of his praise of Duplessis, because the point of this video is the incredibly false and lame and very lame narrative he's trying to create and failing to.
And he throws a fade out.
The narrative being that Drickus is bad or unskilled, right? So anytime he says Drickus is actually skilled here, like, it's not helping.
Left hook, was just falls short from landing. Drickus switches stances forward.
Oh my God, Brunson is holy. Oh my God, he's fent leaning, right? Do you see this? This isn't an MMA fight. Anyways.
From landing. Drickus switches stances forward, throws a left parry into a now lead right hook to the head, but Brunson ducks his head under it again, and Drickus gets slightly off balance. Brunson still doesn't go for a takedown, but the interesting thing there is, because Drickus overextended and dropped the punch as he threw it, in what would usually be a striking mistake that can get him knocked out or taken to the ground, it lowers his arm under Brunson's chin, and he throws the elbow up into it, using it as an elbow frame of stopping Brunson from even going for a takedown if he wanted to. Now,
okay, this is crazy. I'm gonna piss right now. Turning my bathroom light on, unzipping my pants, dropping my shorts down, dropping my underwear down, lifting the lid up. Yeah, that's right. I pull my pants all the way down when I piss in my room. Now, oh, this is awkward. I can't speak with emotion while there's a heavy flow erupting right now. But, oh, little dribble. It's not like an, oh shit. Oh fuck, my headset just almost slid off my head, which would have been terrifying with the lifted up lid. And then, as I tried to let go of the toilet lid that was about to fall down, and grab, my headset and stop that from falling, the toilet lid dropped, and that almost, nailed me in my huge, massive cock. It just would have been a total cascading domino effect of nightmares, which is what this video is actually. This video is the cascading domino effect of nightmares. All right. So I'm going to firstly ignore everything that Weasel just said, and I want all of you to as well. What Drickus is doing is really cool. This is another time where these guys are doing things that are really cool and is being completely undermined by somebody who doesn't understand things, right? This guy talks like how a dumb person would think Jack Slack would talk, right? You hear that somebody's been reading manuals on martial arts, and you're like, I don't know, maybe shocked or flabbergasted is the wrong word, but there's a really important distinction from like reading like old fucking kung fu or old Jack Dempsey boxing manuals with little drawings of British pugilist dudes, doing like 3-frame punches or 2-frame punches, like starting posture, end of posture, and you have to like do guesswork, right, to figure out what's in between. There's a difference between that and then researching that while also training. The problem is that the Weasel not only doesn't read, because I don't think he can. He also doesn't train. And so he just makes things up. And he doesn't understand the little nuances, right? That's what I mean by the weird remarks that people who don't train will often make. And that is things like this. It's things like saying he didn't know where his feet were, or didn't know where his body was. Whatever, dude. Or saying that, or implying things like this are an accident. How about this? Drickus is fighting a wrestler, so maybe he is just going to drop his hands after throwing strikes because Brunson, like we saw earlier in the video, was trying a little bit to time his shots under the strikes. So what if Drickus throws, and then instead of expecting Drunkus, Brunson, Brunk, Barrett, Duke Dennis, instead of expecting Duke Dennis to counter with a cracking left hook, he instead thinks that Brunson is going to shoot a takedown, and then so he drops his hands. That's a cool thing, right? So he can get the underhook. Isn't that a smart thing? Why are we talking about this like this is an accident? Hey, here's thing number 2. Drickus du Plessis punches the way he does, that I would imagine he does when he trains. I haven't seen sparring footage of him, I don't think, but I promise you, he throws punches like this, like the way he always does in his fights. He runs and punches, he moves and punches and throws these long, strafing straights and jabs and things that are a little bit awkward in the angles that they come from, but only awkward is in they aren't usual. I'm not gonna go as far as to like shit on this guy's form or whatever. But the implication, right, is that if you know how you strike, you also know what happens when at the end frames, right? The end frames of your strikes or whatever. Drickus knows what happens if he's throwing punches while moving forwards and the other guy's also moving forwards. They collide. So what he does is he braces for whatever their incoming impact is, because he knows where his body is, because he's a fucking trained career fighter, and he frames and he braces and he pushes Brunson off with his arm. That is a thing I have done. Like, I do it when I spar with my friends. I'll like crash into them, right? Like that is a real thing. You don't necessarily see it all the time in MMA because people fight at awkward, long, pokey distances in MMA a lot of the time because that's just how the sport is. But framing like this, very normal. Very, very normal. And the fact that the Weasel doesn't know this proves, really should prove to you, like nail in the coffin, 50th nail in the fucking coffin. Coffin made out of nails. Iron Maiden, is that what they're called? Not the band, right? The thing with the spikes. Iron Maiden. That's just gonna be the band. Torture device. Yes, it is. The Weasel, his Iron Maiden, his coffin of 1,000 nails, this being the 1,000th, is this comment to me, because it just shows that he's just making things up. He doesn't actually train.
It is possible that Brunson could have shot even under that, like a very low shot, just like Hamza did.
Brunson's gonna shoot a very low shot like that from an inch away? What are you saying?
It's actually very creative and in Drickus' own way, good takedown defense from him. This man's plot armor is insane.
Oh, it's plot armor. It's creative and interesting and cool 1 second, and then the next second it's
insane. That's like the main character's sword slips out of his hand and he accidentally nudges it in midair to
what?
perfectly deflect the enemy's sword attack. Bro,
dude, he's such a loser. How about this? How about this video is the sword magically flying into my hands so I can decapitate the Weasel in one foul swoop. Hooray!
Bro through an overextended
Bro through. Skip.
throws a switch kick to the leg, telegraphs a strike, Brunson catches it.
That's what I'm kind of talking about. I did say inside calf kick in my example much earlier, but an outside calf kick where you're like lining your legs up that way, like it's gonna have a similar effect where your legs are gonna be right next to each other.
Transitions into a takedown.
And Drickus fights it off.
Good job of keeping it.
Oh my goat.
Version of a Superman punch clashes his forehead into Drickus' jaw.
Oh my god, steel jaw Drickus. You know Hamza's not breaking his jaw. If Derek Momentum Duplessis can headbutt this dude in the fucking jaw from this angle and nothing happens. Look, Duplessis looks like Dan Hooker right now. Anyways.
And falls to his knees, but he doesn't really go for a takedown there. It just looks like he tripped to the ground. But
Can I get a
left underhook to stand up?
Yeah, my mic's still working.
One knee, but look at Drickus pivoting around away from the fence, so Brunson can't push him into it and work for a takedown. So Drickus pushes away at Brunson, escaping the takedown. And Drickus adjusts to the striking again. Instead of throwing the punch, he fakes his right hand to see the reaction from Brunson. Lowering his head, it looks like he was going to go for a takedown, but Drickus angles to his right, picks up his right hand to defend himself. So it looked like he thought it was going to be a punch, and Brunson sluggishly
care. I don't care. Oh, there is more though. There's actually a really important moment in here. But let me see if there's. Yeah, no, there isn't. There's a second moment here. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna.
So then we go to the Darren Till fight, and Drickus is on his back. Drickus
like a fucking god.
rotates and kicks off the fence.
Kicks off the fence. Whoa, take note of this.
Turtles into Till. And Till has his neck. He has the guillotine.
I promise you, Drickus was not at any point in his camp preparing for Till to use front headlocks. It doesn't matter if Till has used a front headlock before. That is entirely different than preparing for Hamza Chimaev. So yes, he's going to feel comfortable wrestling up like this.
Tries to flip Drickus, but due to plot armor, Drickus.
Oh god, I really could cry.
Gets flipped into the fence.
So Drickus, we know, knows the fence is there. He kicked off of it, as noted. So then, when he gets the guillotine, he's okay rolling with it because he knows he can use the fence. Also, look where his hand is. He's stopping the roll. If the fence wasn't here, he would be out of this submission anyways, even if the fence wasn't there. This isn't plot armor.
Which stops it, throwing off the guillotine for Till. Drickus pushes the legs away.
I hate this guy so much.
which escapes the position altogether. Till stands up and allows Drickus to stand up because he is a striker and is more confident in the stand-up than on the ground. So then Drickus throws
He's better in his stand-up than on the ground.
another telegraph kick. Now, Darren Till is not a wrestler, but he's a Muay Thai striker. And if you throw telegraph kicks against Muay Thai strikers, they will also grab onto the kick and trip you to the ground. So Darren Till still has that same instinct, just like a lot of other Muay Thai fighters. Throw a telegraph kick, he's going to knock you to the ground. So he pushes at Drickus, gets on top, and Drickus is using that one butterfly hook to elevate Till. But
Momentum go.
Till establishes top position.
I'm saying like I didn't see all of these fights.
Crushes the guard with an elbow, gets around to the side, and starts throwing a flurry of punches, which gets Drickus shrimping into him again. The same thing he usually does, but this time he's attacking the single leg to stand up with. This most likely is not going to work too well against Hamza.
Oh god, shut the fuck up. Drickus' game plan was to wrestle Till, dude.
Doesn't usually give the position for fighters. Drickus to it.
It's just he's not.
Into a body lock, throw a jab, but Whitaker ducks his head
Okay.
in the first round on top, and then finally.
Look at Drickus' arms, guys. He's fully he's guarding punches, right? Drickus did not look like this against Sean Strickland. And he didn't look like this against Derek Brunson. He really didn't. He also did this against Till. He did this against Till and Whitaker. Because he knows how to change up his style, at least a little bit, when he's going against different strikers. You know, it's just tiring, right?
Whitaker. They both throw a jab, but Whitaker ducks his head all the way next to the fence, and Drickus try to counter with a butterfly hook, try to flip Whitaker, but Whitaker settles into side control. So Drickus.
Oh, right. If this was happening to Drickus, if Drickus was on top, he'd say, "Oh, the plot armor from the fence saves him." Look how fucking close to rolling over Whitaker would have been if it wasn't for the fence.
Whitaker settles into side control. So Drickus defends the position from there by getting double wrist.
Whitaker was in side control and got up. Isn't that so awesome? Can't you just love this guy?
Control.
I was like a Dana impression. That wasn't. I don't.
Throwing a knee shield in between him and Whitaker, and has one.
Whoa! He looks so what the fuck? He looks like a Lord of the Rings Nazgul, not Nazgul, Orc-High type thing. Look at his eyes. You can't see any eyeball from him. It's just weird shapes, and then his teeth look like fangs. This is crazy. This is like that, that schizo. There's a schizo type disorder people get where everybody's faces look like demons. I'm getting this right now with low resolution Drickus 2+C.
Against the fence, if he needs to kick off it. So he has a multi-layered defense here to see what Whitaker does, but Whitaker's just sitting on top, posturing over Drickus. And Drickus lets go of all defenses, trims into Whitaker to rise with that left underhook, just like he usually does, and that most likely is going to get countered by Hamza Chimaev. Whitaker pivots to the side, grabs around the body, and tries to stand over him so he can't stand up. But the difference there between Whitaker and Hamza is Hamza will be attacking the legs, not just the upper body. This is very similar to Habib and Islam. They'll attack the legs. Not just
I hate it. It's
very similar to Habib and Islam. They'll attack the legs as well as the upper body. You can see Whitaker here. He's only standing up while trying to keep upper body control. And it's not going to stop Drickus from standing up. Hamza would be entangling the leg, would be wrist riding, pushing his body weight on top so Drickus can't just muscle his way to his feet. Keeping the position and micromanaging for the next transition to inflict damage.
Okay, that's the video. It's really, really lazy for 1,000 different reasons. It's upsetting to anybody that knows what they're talking about, because all things like this do is set the sport back by so much. You would hear the same or better from one of your friends, and that is not the standard you want from an MMA analyst. This is my video. Hit subscribe if you want to listen to me ramble about this shit again, because I enjoyed it. I'll get a better mic next time, I promise. And I gotta clip out that terrible thing. Anyways, good night.